5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Two white Muslims.
Go.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa rahmatullahi.
Wa barakatuh.
My name's Junaid Rahim,
And my name's Mohammed Yusuf Bashforth.
and affectionately we're known as
The Two White Muslims. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa rahmatullahi.
Wa barakatuh. Here you go, laughing.
Laughing.
You always do it.
Don't know what it is.
I've no idea.
Don't know what it is. Always come in giggling. Is that such a bad thing?
Oh, it's great. Great.
Might
What's
be-
the alternative?
Well, exactly.
You can come in, just face like a wet weekend,
in Blackpool
or wherever.
or wherever.
Other wet weekends are available.
Yeah, other holiday destinations are available. Other market towns are available.
Yes.
It's not a market town. It's a spa town, isn't it? Is it a spa?
No,
It's not a spa, is
that's
it?
just a seaside resort
Yes.
with a pleasure. Have you? When was the last time you went on Blackpool Pleasure Beach?
Do you know, it's been a while. I bet it's 20 years.
It's not
No.
that long for me. It's
Yeah.
about 10.
Wow.
But I was only there very, very briefly.
Yep.
We'd taken when. In fact, it's not even 10. It's. Is it 6 years? 7? How long's my daughter been married?
Oh,
here we go. 7 years.
7 years. Yeah, 7 years. Good
7
Lord.
years. Wow. God, that went quick.
Ain't it just?
So 7 years ago, because my wife's auntie and uncle
Yes.
came over from Pakistan.
Oh, wow.
It's the first time they've been in this country.
Yes.
And they came over to attend the wedding.
Yep.
And while they were here, we said, well, we've got to show you a bit of Britain then.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, fortunately, their son has been here for a long, long time.
Right, yes.
And he lives in London, so he showed them the London
So
and
they
the
saw
south
London.
bit.
Brilliant.
But we decided to show them the north.
Yes.
And we took them to the Lake District.
Yes.
It's beautiful. We had
It
a
is
lovely,
beautiful.
beautiful day. And we took them to York.
Oh, lovely
To
York.
see a really quaint old British town.
Yeah.
And then they said, need to see Blackpool now.
And you said.
And I said,
No, you don't.
nah.
No.
Let's
No.
shall we just swerve Blackpool?
Yeah.
But they remember Blackpool from the old, from the 1950s
Oh.
when it was the place to
Yeah.
be. If you're
Donkeys and
if you're
deck
English,
chairs.
you go to Blackpool. That's
Yeah.
your holiday destination. That's where
Men
you
in
go.
suits.
With
With the things rolled up,
yeah,
paddling, and,
Yeah.
and a knotted handkerchief on
that's
their head.
right. That's right.
Blackpool Rock.
Hang on a minute. Did you see me?
Yes, yeah. No, I've got pictures of my granddad. It's seriously, I've got pictures of granddad. We've got a phenomenal...
I've got a picture. I've got a family picture
Yes.
of all of us
Yeah.
walking down Central Pier in
Oh,
Blackpool,
brilliant.
and I was carrying my ukulele,
Oh, wow, okay.
and I was going to Central Pier, to the end of Central Pier, where they had a
Yes.
big hall.
You're going to say
there.
to perform.
I did.
Really?
I performed Blackpool Central Pier.
Oh, come
and that
on.
would have been 1971.
Wow.
But bearing in mind I was born in 63, I wasn't old at the time.
You'd have been 8 then.
I was on stage at 8.
Wow.
Yes, singing George Formby's Blackpool Rock
Brilliant.
in Blackpool.
Oh, brilliant.
It was
And performing the ukulele.
Fantastic. Yeah,
That's incredible.
yeah, I know. That's what I was a musical kid.
Yes,
I was
yes.
a musical child.
You were talented.
I mean, all that changed later on in my life.
Yes, yes.
But I say I was talented. I still am.
Wow. Well, yes,
But I
exactly.
just choose not to be.
Yeah, just choose. I still have those talents. I choose not to use
Just
those.
don't use them. Yeah,
Wow.
I should do really.
Yes.
Just because I can.
Because you can.
Yeah.
Allah gave you those skills. I mean, you worked incredibly hard to hone them. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. There's no such thing as God-given talent when it comes to things like guitars. You have to work.
You have to work.
unbelievably
Yeah, you do.
hard.
You do.
But Allah gave you the commitment and dedication to working.
Just the natural ability to hear it and to do what I do.
Yes.
And I used to be able to listen to stuff and then just work it out and play it.
Yes.
That was my thing.
Yeah.
I was very good at it. So but Blackpool.
Yes.
So they came across to this country. First time in this country, we
Yep.
took them round London, Lake
Yeah.
District, York, etc.,
York,
etc.
all
And
the-
then they
yeah.
said, "We need to see Blackpool
Yes.
now." And this was a Friday.
Oh wow.
And I said, and it was
It's a certain age.
early
goes to
evening.
Blackpool now.
It was early evening, about 6
Oh,
on a Friday, and they
crikey.
wanted to see Blackpool. And I
Yeah.
was saying, "Really, Uncle, you don't.
No,
You don't.
no.
It's changed.
Yeah.
It's not the same as it used
Golden
to be."
Mile has whole new
It's not-
connotations now. Doesn't it?
Yes, sadly it does. Sadly. But, you know, he
stag do's and empires.
he insisted.
Understandable.
He insisted.
He'll have watched the films.
So therefore,
Like you
we
say, from the
went
50s and
to
60s.
Blackpool.
Yeah.
And we parked up near the tower, as it happens.
Brilliant.
And then we walked out onto the front.
Which
we
is
walked
fantastic.
up towards the pleasure beach.
Yes, which is
so
fantastic.
you've got about a mile.
Yeah, it is.
about
It's
a
got a
mile.
mile. Yeah.
And it was every bit my worst nightmare.
Oh no.
It was awful.
Oh dear.
And to some extent, it brought back some lovely memories.
I'm
Because
sure it did, yeah.
we had a great family holiday in
Yes.
Blackpool.
Yeah.
And it hadn't changed.
Yeah.
As far as I was concerned, it
Yep,
just hadn't
yep.
changed.
Because the
The people
physical
going
aspect-
has
yeah,
changed.
That's the thing.
And it was stag nights and hen do's.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
very rowdy. There was a rowdy rabble. And I was trying to shield him from the fact that some of the ladies that are out don't wear much.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you think, no, this is not. It's not right because it is a good practicing
And
Muslim.
you don't want to give that.
And I don't want him going
impression.
home
Yeah.
thinking this is what the UK
This is what the UK is.
is. This
yeah.
where I've sent my son to study?
Yeah,
You know, I don't
yeah.
want him thinking that.
Yeah.
So we were trying to, but there's no shielding it. There's no hiding it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So we walked up the mile.
Promenade thing, yeah.
Walked up the mile, and then decided that they were going to stop and get something to eat.
Fish and chips.
Well, yeah.
Or could you not find any fish and chip places anymore?
It's all burger joints now,
Oh.
and chicken
Yeah.
shops and
Yeah.
et cetera, et
Which you can
cetera.
get anywhere.
But
Which you can get in Milan.
you get chicken cottage.
Chicken cottage.
Chicken
innit?
cottage, in it. Can I have a family bucket, in it, bro? So you can actually get chicken cottage in Milan. But they stopped and got something to eat.
Yeah.
And myself and my daughter were staring at this pleasure beach
Yeah.
and the what's it called, the Pepsi Max.
Is it?
And we said, have we time?
Brilliant.
Well, we've got this far.
Yeah.
Of course there's time.
course
It's
there's
going to take us 10, 15,
Yes.
15
Make
minutes.
time.
If okay, let's just go for it.
Yes.
So we ran to this thing.
Yeah.
We got the tickets, ran in there, joined the queue. We were on pretty much straight away because
Yeah.
it wasn't all that busy,
Yeah.
Thankfully. And we did the Pepsi Max.
Wow.
And that was about 7 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crikey.
And I love it.
Oh.
I love those rides. I love
Yes.
those. I love fairgrounds. I love them. I
Out
think
of
they're
the whole
great.
thought- I love the 1950s, 1960s stereotypical Blackpool.
Yeah.
I think it's
It
phenomenal.
was brilliant.
And it's a shame when it changes like that and it
Yeah.
becomes a bit of a going outy type.
1971. That family holiday in
Yeah.
Blackpool
Yeah.
remains
Yeah.
in my memory with such fond affection. Yeah.
I think I might.
Fondness.
Yeah, I'm actually
Loved
before. We went to Cornwall year after
Yeah,
year
yeah.
after year after year after year. We travelled down. We went caravan in.
Yep.
And we went down for our 2-week holiday in Cornwall, and we went to a place called Trevelgy Campsite, just outside Newquay in Cornwall, and
Yep.
it was phenomenal.
Mhm.
Phenomenal. And it was phenomenal because nobody in Newquay and none of the campsites accepted single-sex parties. By that I mean, you wouldn't get a
No
big group of
stags
lads.
and no hens.
Yeah,
Yep.
no stags, no hens.
Yeah,
Basically,
good.
simple as that.
Good.
So you couldn't have a big group of lads, and you couldn't have a big group of lasses. It just didn't happen. It was all family orientation, couples and families.
They wouldn't get away with that nowadays.
Well, exactly. Well, I know, but what I mean is the
Yeah.
the type of like
Got
I say,
that, got that.
no
Yep.
people coming down just to get absolutely ridiculously
Hammered. Yeah.
and what have you. Now, unfortunately, they do let them in.
Funny thing happened
And
in
so
Blackpool.
Newquay is just transferred. It's just like Blackpool. Newquay was it was gorgeous. It was like the memories. Oh, it's amazing. And you go now, and it's just a little bit rowdy and rough, and because they just go down to get drunk.
I was wearing a blue polo neck that day. A blue polo neck. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a chunky knit polo neck.
Yes,
Yeah. And this group of lads walked past, and this lad looked at me, and he said to his mates, "Hey, it's Captain Birdseye."
Actually,
I had a blue polo neck and a beard.
yeah, white beard at that.
I was Captain Birdseye.
Captain Birdseye. Did you go? "Arr"?
No, no, I didn't. I just pretended he hadn't said anything.
Did you
and
say?
walked away.
Did you say cod off?
Cut off. Cut off.
I'm wearing it just for the halibut.
Oh dear. Captain Birdseye
Oh, brilliant.
and his fishy fingers.
Brilliant. Oddly enough, none of that is on my list. None of that is on my list.
Have we actually got a list
We
today?
actually have a list.
Have you brought one in?
We have.
Oh,
We have
fantastic.
got a list.
What's on the list,
Do you know what is
Sinead?
on the list?
Go on.
Fastest car on Earth.
Oh, I'm looking forward to
I want
that.
to talk about the fastest car on Earth. And
Brilliant.
What's happening. Bacteria.
Okay.
I know.
There's a lot of that about.
I know.
Lots of that in my lungs at the moment.
They found a Viking
Unfortunately.
ship.
Have they?
Yes.
Where?
Well, that's what I want to discuss. Where and how.
Okay,
Is
cool.
what I want to discuss.
Yep.
Where and how.
Right,
We'll look at
happy
fridge
days.
magnets. Maybe not look at fridge magnets.
I'm going to say, that's great for radio, isn't it?
yes.
Let's look at some fridge magnets.
Oh, I want to consider how long. Now, when you're posting something,
Yeah.
if you post a letter today,
Yeah.
when would you expect it to arrive?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Now, if you posted a postcard, what do you often accept? The fact that it might maybe take a day or two longer?
Yeah.
Because there's just something about, they used to prioritise post, didn't they? And
Yeah.
postcards weren't of a priority.
That's
So
right.
It might take a couple of days.
Yeah.
So I just want to consider how long it could possibly take a postcard to arrive.
Okay.
We'll look at taxes.
Yeah.
That's taxes, not taxes.
Taxis.
Taxi. And I want to consider what is wrong with young people.
Oh, where do I start?
Where do you start? Now that I'm no
Hang on a
longer
minute.
one of them.
This show is only 3 hours long, and usually we only go to numbers 1 and 2 on your list.
Exactly. So
I want to come to that one
Should we put that one to the top?
First, we can fill the rest of the week with that one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Where do I start?
What is wrong with young people? And by the way, those policemen are looking younger.
Yeah.
We've reached that age, haven't we? We've reached that age.
I turned into my dad.
Yes.
I don't know when it happened, but I looked in the mirror and thought, "Oh, whoa, what are you doing here?"
Yep.
Yeah.
Extraordinary.
And I start talking like him.
Yeah.
I start talking to my kids like my dad used to talk to me.
Yep.
And it's quite wonderful actually.
Yes,
'Cause that part of him lives on.
Yes.
Part of my dad lives on
Yep.
in me, and I
Yep.
think it's quite terrific.
Yes. I remember
Alhamdulillah.
my mum always and continually says this. She goes, it's weird because she goes, I don't feel old. I don't feel in my head I'm not old. She goes, and then I look in the mirror and I'm like, who's this old woman looking at me?
That's right.
And I
Yep.
get that now because I'll occasionally look at a picture from when I was like 20 and think, look at the tightness of that skin. Do you know what I mean? Look at the slim, slender tone.
I mean, I was
Who's this old man looking back from a mirror?
I was actually born with these eye bags. I had them from pack
They always been there.
But now they're bin liners.
Yeah,
They
suitcases.
really are suitcases.
Oh.
Yeah. I could pack 2 weeks of supplies into these.
Yes.
But yeah, I was actually born with them,
Wow.
and I had them at the age of like 4.
Oh, wow.
And you can see them on school photos.
Golly,
it was always
just
like that.
how
It was
it
just
is,
there.
is it?
Yeah, it was
Just
that
how
was
it
just
is.
my genes. Yeah,
Golly.
lucky me.
Yes, yes, very well done.
So
blimey.
but yeah, it's right. When you look back at old photos and
Yeah.
you think, where did he go?
Yeah.
What happened to him?
God, he was quite. He actually
He
looks
was
quite
all
nice.
right.
How come at the time he didn't think he did?
Oh well, I mean, I had 2 very good reasons.
Go on.
One of which was my gingerness,
And the other?
which I've always regretted. The other, I'm not prepared to disclose on radio.
Oh, because we like this and we don't want to get taken off.
That's right.
Oh dear.
Yet.
So that's our list. My suggestion is we do that list.
After some of this.
They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky. They're all together ooky.
The 2 white Muslims.
Assalamu alaikum.
Rahmatullahi.
What works? What barakatuh?
I say that works.
That works every time. Every time.
Every single time.
I still don't know what.
No, when I press this button, it works.
Oh, that works.
Yes. Oh.
Oh dear. So
No, I was just thinking you were going to ask me for a topic or a subject, and I was pressing this button and it's not actually working. There we go. I can delete that.
Do you know what I'm looking forward to off this list?
Go on.
Fridge magnets. Can't wait for that one. So what are we doing first?
Right.
As you hurriedly
We are doing...
try to get your phone working.
I am going to blow your mind.
Oh.
I'm going to absolutely blow your mind.
Again?
Again. I'm going to blow your mind. I could not believe this one.
Go on.
We're going to look at the fastest car on Earth.
Yep.
Fastest car on Earth.
Uh-huh.
Here we go. Right. Okay, so Bloodhound. They're going to call it, this car, Bloodhound.
Why would they call it a bloodhound?
Don't know. I know, that's not the fastest dog on the world, is it?
No.
No.
I'd expect it to be called Whippet.
Yes.
Or Greyhound.
Greyhound. Yeah. So they call those big lumbering buses in America Greyhound, and the fastest car on the Earth, Bloodhound.
That's ridiculous.
How'd that work?
I don't know.
That's like when a really tall person, you call him Tiny.
Yeah.
Little John.
Yeah. And a really large person, you call them Slim.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And somebody
and
my
my
day you
missus.
call Blue.
My missus, yeah, I used to call her Fats. Yeah, Fatty. Fatty Ferrati. I did.
Fatty Ferrati.
She
I
was,
bet she loved that,
she
didn't
was
she?
size 6 petite.
I bet she loved it. Even
about-
a size 6, I bet she had a complex.
And about 7 stone wet.
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
Fatty Ferrati.
That's brilliant.
Do you know when this gets out?
Oh.
I'm for it.
But car hits skids as project enters administration. So this is the project to do something.
Yep.
And it's struggling. So there is an appeal for £25 million investment to rescue the British team's plan to break the land speed record.
Oh.
So this is the plan. So plans to build a British jet-powered car to speed at more than... I'm going to come back to that in a second.
I just want to be in it.
I know, this is it. Through the desert have hit quicksand. After the company behind the Bloodhound project entered administration. Now, we're going to look at that. The dream of an ultra-fast car to break the land speed record led to the creation of Bloodhound Programme Limited in 2007.
Really?
It's taken them this long. And they've just gone into administration with the idea of also engaging schools and students and engineering, blah, blah. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant idea.
Yep.
And you can think, because it's from things like this, it's from striving to break records, from striving to be the best, that we get developments.
Of course it is.
And that we get new stuff.
Why did they aim to get a man on the moon?
I
Why?
could say because the Russians had put a man in space.
Well, it's just like if you've done that, we'll go one better. Yeah. Well, no,
But
no,
what
that's not
came
the
out
reason.
of it was it was to push the boundaries of
technological development.
Absolutely. Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
And
knew.
They said what's the what are the processes required?
Yes.
To put man on the moon.
Yes.
Well, it starts here with a blank page because
Yes.
we don't know what those
know.
processes are. We
And-
don't know what we're going to have to invent.
Yeah.
But we do know there's going to be massive advances
Yes.
if we get there.
Yes.
And along
Necessity
the way,
breeds creation.
along the way, it's going to be great because
Yeah.
we'll get all sorts of good stuff and good products out of the journey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so now I come to, and this is the bit I'm like, how fast did they want this to go?
When did you turn into Scooby-Doo?
I know. How fast were they? What was their aim?
Land
How
speed?
fast?
I don't actually know. I don't know because they can do 200 miles an hour, can't they?
In a normal what would be considered a street car.
Yeah. So 300.
Okay, I'm almost certain they've got close to 300 in the is it the Bugatti Veyron?
Bugatti. Yeah.
I think that either did or got close to 300.
Wow. Can you?
And this is a rocket-powered car. Well, to give you a little clue, I've got it in my head. I don't know how true this is, but I've got it in my head that a previous rocket car, and I could be wrong, did in excess of 600 miles an hour. I know.
Whoa.
600 miles an hour is what a jet does.
Yep.
In the air.
Yep.
This is on the floor with wheels and tyres bumping over things.
Oh, dear me.
So if...
And where are they going to do this? In some desert?
What is this? On sand. So it'll be one of these... You know, like they have the salt flats in America for speed, don't they?
Yeah.
Somewhere like that.
Right,
Long,
okay.
Flat. So I've got it in my head that the land
It'll
speed
want to be
record...
really flat, won't it?
Want to be really flat. Yeah. But I've got it in my head that somebody, the land speed record has been broken. It might be 660 miles an hour.
Wow.
So guess what target they set themselves?
664.
I'd have thought that. No.
800.
No.
9.
No.
No, not 1,000. No, you can't go 1,000 miles an hour.
1,000 miles an hour.
In a car?
Yeah.
Are these guys nuts?
Yep. Bloodhound, 1,000 mile per hour car is what they're trying to do.
Stop it.
1,000. I can't get my head
These
around
guys
that.
are just nuts.
I don't think we've even done that in a plane. If you travel on a jet, you do about 600 miles an hour, don't you?
Something like that, yeah.
Because I remember, the terrible tsunami.
Yep.
I remember watching a program about it, and I remember watching the program years ago because it actually happened years and years ago. If you think about it, was it 2004?
2004.
So it's 14 years ago.
Yeah.
And I remember watching a program. It was saying yada 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 yada, and this hit wherever it hit, and then there was the earthquake in wherever it was.
Yes.
And then 8 hours later,
Yep.
the wave hit Indonesia or wherever it was. I remember. Yeah, you have that split second where you think 8 hours.
Yep.
And then you think, of course, if you set off from that point and the wave was travelling at about 700 miles an hour,
Yep.
a plane goes at 600 miles an hour.
Yep.
So if you were going from that spot to wherever it would take you, 6, 7, 8 hours, 9 hours.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The wave travelled for 8 hours, and that's why they're now saying that they can warn people. 8 hours notice is quite a lot.
Yep.
If you think about it.
Oh, you can get inland sufficiently
Yes.
to avoid being dead.
Yes.
Really.
Yes. Yeah. Dead.
To avoid being swept
Yeah.
away.
So if you think that, even natural things like waves only travel at 800 miles an hour, 1,000 miles an hour. It's a car. I know it's not a car. It's a jet-powered thing. It's got four wheels.
It's a jet on wheels.
It's a jet on wheels,
Yeah.
but fundamentally it's a car.
It's a jet with no wings.
Yes.
It's a jet with a spoiler.
Yes.
And you'd hope that spoiler does its job.
Yes.
In forcing it
Absolutely.
to ground.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
the idea, isn't it? On a sports car, that thing forces it to ground,
Yes.
doesn't it? It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It acts like a wing,
Yes.
pushing it downwards.
pushing it down,
so
not
it gets traction on the road.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you've only got 4 tiny pieces of, because the whole of the tire's not on the floor. A tiny part
Tiny
of the
piece
tire
of
is on
rubber.
the floor at any one point, and
That's
that's it. Keeping you in a straight line,
Wow.
even when you're travelling in your car.
Yeah, yeah.
Imagine doing it 1,000 miles an hour.
No,
Now-
I can't. No, I can't. But do you know what I'd like to?
Oh, tell me about it.
I wouldn't like to do that in my car.
No, tell me about it. But first of all, there's a picture, and I know this is not good for radio.
Oh.
There's a picture.
Stop
So
it.
you're at the front of what is basically a massive jet engine. Yes?
If that was pointing upwards,
Yes. It would go an
it
awful
would
long way.
actually take off.
Yes,
wouldn't
yes.
it? It's
But
a rocket.
Is it
on
me?
wheels?
Is it me? Or have they based that on Dick Dastardly's thing for Wacky Races?
They actually
Catch the pigeon.
Catch the
It's
pigeon.
Dick Dastardly's what it is. You had the Antill mob and Captain K. But you had all these.
Penelope Pitstop.
Penelope
Help,
Pitstop.
help.
Help! I'll get you, Penelope Pitstop. It's Dick Dastardly's
And
car.
Motley, can you do Motley's laugh?
No.
I can't.
No,
not
we
with this
can't.
chest, I can't.
No, we can't.
No.
It's Dick. They've just based it on Dick Dastardly's, haven't they? Tell me that isn't Dick Dastardly's
It
car.
actually is.
It is Dick Dastardly.
amazing.
Where does Mutley sit? That's what I want to
In the
know.
front seat with him. Of
Sat
course.
with his goggles on
Who do you expect?
and his ears flapping like that at 1,000 miles an hour. It's just Dick Dastardly. No wonder they ran out of money.
Nobody can take that seriously. I want you to invest £25 million, please. What
Into
on?
what? Dick
What's
Dastardly's
that?
car.
Are you having a laugh?
Where did you get the plans? Well, from a 1972 cartoon. Luckily, we came up with that one and not Captain Caveman's. Oh, dear. So, 1,000 miles an hour. They're looking for 1,000 miles an hour. And the mere fact that they've been working on it for the last 11 years suggests that it's not that far away. Do you know what I mean?
If they've been working on it for 11 years,
yes,
they are serious, aren't they?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
This
is not pie in the sky. That's so we're looking at some point of 1,000 miles an hour car.
Whoever pilots that, because it is pilot, isn't
yes.
it? It's not driving it, is it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Piloting it, may Allah just be merciful with that person.
Yep.
Wow, because that tremendous, and you look again at why are they actually doing this?
It's like because they can, because it's there.
Because it's something.
What did Thingy say when he climbed Everest?
Next milestone.
Why did you insist on climbing Everest? Because it was there.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. And that's why most people do most things, isn't it?
Yeah, love it.
In these ventures, because they can, or because it's there.
Yes.
Or because they just want to see if it can be done.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm hoping they find the investment, because I want to see a car do 1,000 miles per hour.
So, guys out there, if you've got a spare 25 million,
if you've got 25 million.
With burning a hole in your pocket, you don't know what to do with it.
Pass it to us and we'll pass it on to them, I promise.
Most of it. Well, when I say most...
Postcard from Rio.
I might give them the change.
Yes, absolutely. I found this down the back of my sofa. Where are you going? Bye. Holiday.
Ta-ra.
How long's your holiday going to last? Rest of my life. Oh, brilliant.
It's had a radical change of life.
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. Okay. So I think we should stop all this frivolity.
Yes.
And do a bit of this instead.
Yes.
Inshallah. White Muslims. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa rahmatullahi
wa barakatuh.
Hey.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Do you know, just when you just take a deep breath, look out the window, look around you, and realise just how amazing it is to be alive.
Yes.
It kind of takes me by surprise sometimes. Yep. And it shouldn't do, really. I've been it for 53 years.
But that's why it does.
Hang on a minute, I've just had a time off. 56 years. Near, almost. What is it?
Lordy.
I've just lost 3 years of my life.
Ooh.
All gone.
Yeah.
That's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yes.
So, no, it's all good, though. I've put myself younger than I actually am.
Yes.
Which is always good.
Yes.
Happy days. Happy days.
But it is weird. It is weird. We do kind of take it for granted.
We do. I know.
How often do you see people going, yes, I'm
alive?
What they tend to be doing is, I'm going to go to work.
What have I got to do today?
Oh, I hate my boss.
Oh, I don't like it anymore.
I don't like that teacher. Please don't. No, is it today? Which I understand, because at some point everybody does that.
That's the mood of the nation, though, isn't it?
It is. But every now and again,
mood of the nation.
Every now and again, it's worth just having a little look at the sunrise and going, it's amazing.
Alhamdulillah.
It's amazing.
Just, like I said, just take a deep breath.
Did you feel that?
Yep. Fantastic.
Brilliant.
Alhamdulillah.
Brilliant.
Alhamdulillah.
It's like when people get stage fright and things, if they're going to do a presentation at work or whatever it might be, and they go, I can't do it, I'm really scared.
I'm too scared.
You being scared is brilliant. It reminds you're alive.
Yeah.
Because if you're not scared, well, there's a strong possibility you're not here.
Well, the thing is that if you're going to do an all-important presentation at work, or you're doing something in assembly at school, or there's something where people are going to be watching you.
Yes,
it's quite normal to be scared.
Absolutely, everybody gets scared.
You go and ask some of these megastars that do stadium gigs how they feel just as they're walking on stage.
Yes,
and you'll find that they are scared.
Yeah.
It's because it gets adrenaline pumping.
Yes,
and it's adrenaline that you need to make everything better. It makes everything work.
Because when it goes round your tummy, it feels uncomfortable.
It feels a bit
makes you feel
odd.
sick.
Hey,
And you
I
hear
once
about
went.
these guys throwing up in buckets before they go on.
I once went
Yes.
to the hospital for a test,
Right.
and it was a test to test adrenaline.
Right. Did they have to scare you?
No, they injected me with something that made my adrenal gland work overtime.
Wow.
Yeah. Now that
Right.
was odd.
Yes.
Right? Because do you know what happened to me?
I don't.
I fell asleep.
Did you?
Yep, the opposite happened on me.
Is
And
that what they would expect, or is that?
No,
or were they
no,
like?
they were saying,
Did you put it in or take it out?
what on earth has gone? I said,
But
look,
some people, when they're really worried and can fall asleep,
oh, right,
it is
okay.
a natural reaction to
Is it?
stress. Yes,
oh, that's
it
what
is.
happened with me then.
Yeah.
I just went to sleep.
Wow.
It was great. I had a nap for like, like an hour, middle of the day. It was great. You know what I'm like? I love me naps.
Oh my goodness.
I am that old man.
Oh, I remember when I was really, 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 really ill in Turkey one time, not that long ago, a couple of years ago, to the point where, I mean,
Oh, I remember that.
passed
That was,
out,
it's
thought I
terrible.
was dying, thought I was having a heart attack.
Terrible.
Came round. Then there was nurses and doctors from the place sticking me with needles and injections, and an ambulance came, and I'm like, oh my goodness, and it was awful. And then we ended up at the hospital. They took us to a private hospital, so we ended up paying for everything, the MRI, the lot, and my wife's going, I think he's going to be okay. I think if he'll sleep, he'll be fine. Honestly, I think he's maybe just a bit tired.
Yeah.
He's been doing too much, whatever it was. Yada 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 yada.
Yep.
Yada. He just needs to. He just needs. Everybody, step back. He just needs to relax. And
Yep.
I'm going, I am dying, love. I think I need to go to hospital. You know what I mean? And went to hospital. Fell asleep. well, was violently ill. Fell asleep. This is 6 hours later, and then
Yep.
fell asleep. 2 hours, best 2 hour skip I've ever had in my life.
Yep.
Woke up and went, oh, I feel much better.
Feel great. Can I go home now?
And the charge is nearly $1,000. And my wife still refers to it as £1,000 sleep. Oh, because I told you. And then when I got back, you very kindly asked your son-in-law,
Yeah.
who I also know very, very well, but you asked him because you were with him, what might this be? And
Yep.
he said, what happened just before? And I went for a haircut.
Yep.
And then they said, well, just trim your beard. And I went, no, you don't need to do that. You don't need to. And he pushed my chin, and my head went back.
Yep.
And that's the last thing I remember.
Yep.
And what did your son-in-law say it was?
It's a carotid artery.
Yes.
Something.
It's some big word
It's
for...
it's spasms.
Yeah.
And not enough blood gets into your brain.
Yes.
And you flake out.
And you flake out.
Job done. And it happens in a very, very lot of people.
Yes.
If they put their head back.
Yes.
So what's the tip for you?
Don't put my head back.
If you're ever going to get into a position where you're putting your head back,
Yep.
avoid that.
Yes. Yes.
Avoid those circumstances.
I think you were saying that it doesn't happen to many people. That was the thing. It's something.
No, it does.
Oh,
It absolutely does. It's quite common.
really?
This is why he knows about it. Because what happens is that people are rushed into hospital with
Yes,
that.
yes.
And it's query cardiac, isn't it?
That's
It's
exactly what happened
it's
with me.
query heart.
Yes.
So he gets that, and he gets that to
Right.
deal with.
Okay.
And he'll just look at them and say, "Nah, it's in your heart,
It's
mate.
a thinning of the carotid
It's your
artery.
carotid. It's your carotid."
When you put your head back.
Yeah.
And he said, well, have you ever had the symptoms before? And I went, well, yeah. I mean, I remember basically when we go to London and
Yep.
you look at the tall buildings,
Yep.
I can't look up because if I look up, I go all dizzy.
Oh, right.
Do you know what I mean? And do
okay.
you remember me saying, oh, it's almost like it's like a negative vertigo.
Yeah.
That when I look up, I go all dizzy.
Yeah.
And feel a bit weird. And I remember going
And
into
it's
York
not-
Minster.
It's not vertigo.
It's not vertigo. It's the
your
carotid artery.
carotid.
We now know. And he said, have you ever had symptoms? I said, well, whenever I look at tall buildings, I go a bit weak at the knees. And
Yep.
he went, right, that's a symptom.
Yeah.
But I assumed that happened to everybody.
Nope.
He went, when you've been in a group of people and they've all been looking up and then you've looked up and felt a bit funny, did they feel funny? No. Then it's just you. And I can remember walking into York Minster, and when you walk in and the ceiling's quite high, and then you go under the Minster bit,
Yeah.
and it just the ceiling
Massive.
I remember looking up and almost passing out.
Really?
I was about 8, and I think
So it's always been the case then.
Oh, I get it.
You can't have your head back.
I can't have my head back without passing out. Basically,
Wow. So if you ever
Isn't that
need to
weird?
look up at something,
yeah.
lie down.
I have to be very careful.
Lie down.
Yeah,
Just
seriously,
lie
I have
down.
to be very careful. Yeah.
Lie down.
I have
and
to look up with my eyes like that and twist me
Yeah.
into the. It's weird.
No, just
And
look up, just lie down.
Or just lie down. Yes, yeah. Isn't that weird?
Lie on your back.
Isn't that weird? Oh my goodness! I forget what. Oh yeah, so that was my £1,000 sleep.
£1,000 sleep. I can't beat that.
And so the good lady just says, "Don't look up." I know now. She goes, "Oh, it's going to happen again." I said, "Love, I was 47 or something when it happened.
Yep.
I've managed 47 years without it happening. I
Yep.
think I can do another 47."
Inshallah.
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 Oh my goodness! But you know what? It's not on my list.
That's not on your list.
That's not on my list.
What's next on your list?
They found a Viking ship.
Oh, I thought it might be fridge magnets.
No.
We'll come back to that.
We'll come back to that one. They found a Viking ship.
Who have?
They. I found a Viking ship.
Everybody says they.
Yes.
And I always want to know who they
Yes.
actually are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I have absolutely no idea.
Yep.
So they
Yep.
have found
Well, given that it's a Viking ship, where do you think they found it?
in Viking land.
Which is? Norway.
Norway.
Yes. So they found a Viking ship in Viking land, which is Norway.
Why couldn't that be?
No, that's what they called it. We call it Norway. They call it Viking land. You know when you see on football.
Why couldn't I think of that? You know when your brain just goes frozen, you can't think of.
You would have been off
places.
slow, weren't you? But if you think, you know, when sometimes you compete on an international level at
Fjords.
football, fjords and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But we'll say something, but then the name will come up as something completely different.
Yep.
Like we will say France, but it comes up as Francais or whatever it is.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We're like, why don't they call it France?
Yep.
Well, we refer to Norway as Norway. Do you know what they call it?
Go on.
Viking land.
No,
No, they don't.
I can't do that.
They should do.
It's like-
They should do. Where to come from? Viking land.
land.
Norway. So they found. So they found a Viking ship in Norway. Now, the reason why this is incredible is number one. Guess how many complete Viking ships have ever been discovered?
1.
2.
Okay, so this
You
is
think it'd
one
be
or
hundreds,
two.
wouldn't you?
Nah.
I think it'd be 100. 2.
Well, they find them in fragments, don't they? They find
Yes,
bits of them.
exactly.
Yeah.
This is the third one, but it's complete.
Where did they find it?
Well, the next bit is staggering.
Go on.
I will very quickly show you a photograph just to see your face.
Ooh,
It's still underground. It's still underground.
that's like an X-ray thing.
It's like an X-ray. What that is archaeologists detect 20-metre ship using motorised, high-resolution, ground-penetrating radar.
Oh,
And what they found...
that's why they put men on the moon.
Yes.
That's why.
And what they found is a Viking ship 20-metre long, buried just 50 centimetres underground.
Wow.
Half a metre.
Wow.
Half a metre.
And had they not taken that shot, they'd
Yep.
never have
They'd
seen.
never found
It'd
it.
never be uncovered.
Do you want the next bit of amazing news?
I want it all.
This is just, it's stunning. Archaeologists discovered a Viking ship buried in Norway, Viking land, using ground-penetrating radar that suggests the 20-metre keel and many of its timbers remain well preserved, just half a metre below the topsoil. The ship lies in farmland in Østfold County in southeast Norway. Just three just 3 other intact ship burials have been recorded in the whole of human history.
Wow.
The survival of this one is remarkable because the imposing burial mound that once covered it has been ploughed off. So there was a massive burial mound over it, which is now gone. And what's left? Half a metre of
Half a
soil.
metre.
Half a metre. Had they done that bit, they'd have broken it up and destroyed it.
Oh my goodness.
Alhamdulillah. Is that not just amazing?
Incredible.
Another
Incredible.
mound, Jelly Mound, still rises high in the field, and the researchers also traced the outlines of at least 8 other previously unknown burial mounds that once surrounded it, and nearly 5 nearby long houses. Project leader Lars Gustavsson. Where'd he come from then? Lars.
Lars?
Yeah.
Well, it's clearly
From
Viking land.
An archaeologist from the Norwegian Institute for Cultural Heritage Research, NICU, it says, said the ship burial does not exist in isolation, but forms part of a cemetery which is clearly designed to display power and influence. Brilliant. There are no immediate plans for excavation. Why?
Why?
Why not? Come
Dig
on,
the thing
Lars, pull your finger out.
Come on.
Oh, we found it. That's all we need to do. No, get it out now. Come
Just
on.
let's have a look.
But further non-invasive research will map the remains and assess the condition. The find was described as incredibly exciting by Nut Pash.
Where's he from?
Oh, no, but it was worth doing the whole thing just to speak about Knut Pash.
Nut.
I think he was bullied at school. An expert on Viking ships.
I wonder if he's ever been called a nutter.
Yes, an expert on Viking ships.
Wow.
An expert.
Absolutely incredible. Incredible. Subhanallah.
Brilliant.
So,
just amazing.
Is there a reason why they're not going to dig it up?
I don't know. I'll come back to that in a second. The researchers, it's just worth it for the names. The researchers worked with motorised high-resolution ground-penetrating radar developed by the Ludwig Boltzmann Institute for Archaeological Prospection and Virtual Archaeology. Imagine having that on your business card. Imagine having that on your business card. Your business card would be 3 foot long. This new ship will certainly be of great historical significance. Dig it up then!
Yep.
So no, it doesn't say why they're not going to. I think they just like going and finding things, but they don't actually go and dig it up, which I find frustrating. But how cool is that?
It's amazing.
How amazing is that? Absolutely incredible.
You're good at history, aren't you?
I quite like history.
Like history. So
Yes.
what period was that from?
Vikings. Were they like 200, 300 AD after Christ?
Yeah.
About 200, 300, is that about right?
About that,
300, 400?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
3rd or 4th century.
So that is an old
That's
boat.
1600 years.
Old boat.
If my maths is correct there. If
and
my aging
did
of
they
things is
really wear the tin hats with horns?
They did.
And the round shields?
They
and
did.
The spears?
They did.
Wow.
They did. And lots of animal skin.
Yeah.
And they elected to get into boats and explore.
I know.
That's the thing. They didn't say, we'll stay up here, it's fine. They came to Great Britain.
Yeah, they did.
Kicked us about a bit, didn't they?
A little bit, yeah.
I don't know if I could.
Yeah.
No, we can't do it.
No.
You saw what passed across my face. No, we can't get away with that one. Can't get away with that one.
This is a family show.
Yes, yeah. I so want to do it.
If you like.
No, I don't know if
I
we
will
can.
not be held responsible.
Don't know if we can. Viking of questionable. Shall we say? The Viking of questionable orientation.
Yes.
Let's say that.
Yes.
Because all his mates used to say, "Oh, look at that Lars, always pillaging." Always with the pillaging.
Excuse me.
Only the pillaging.
Oh my goodness, don't make me laugh. Stop it, man. Stop it.
But cool. Just for how they found it, the fact that they found it, and it's there. I just find that amazing.
I think it's fascinating.
Love it.
And I cannot imagine any reason why they wouldn't dig it up.
I know.
And have a good rummage around.
I remember my grandma, and again, this is probably going back 40-odd years, taking me to the Jorvik Viking Centre.
I love that
in
place.
York. It's amazing. That's how far the Vikings got.
I know.
Got to York, given that they would have come from the north of the country.
Yep.
They got to York.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, it's fascinating. Fascinating
Amazing.
place. If you've never been, go.
You've got to go. Got to go.
Brilliant.
They've got Romans there. The two main contributors are Romans.
Yep.
Well, I say Romans, Vikings, but then you've got a lot of Norman.
Yep. Norman.
Got a lot. Hey up, Norman.
Hey up, Norman.
Hey, bit of wisdom.
Is he? No.
Mr.
I
Rimsdale.
was thinking Norman. Is he the security guard? A lot of Norman. Got a lot of Norman. Is he like the bouncer?
1066. I remember doing some training at the ubiquitous Saab Academy of Excellence, which was in Northampton, south of England.
Yes.
And the code to get in, I hope they've changed it. The code to get in was 1066.
1066.
1066.
Yep.
And, had a Swedish guy there, and he said, and what is your code to get in? And I went, it's 1066. And he went, 1066, your English Battle of Hastings. I was like, what?
What?
I couldn't tell you anything about Sweden.
No.
Nothing. And he knew about your,
Hang on a minute.
your English Battle of
I
Hastings.
struggle to tell you where it is.
I just know they go, good, yeah. That's all I
I just
know.
remember the Swedish chef on the He was great. I mean,
In no way racist.
no, not racist.
How do Swedish people speak? He's got a big chopper, chasing the chicken around with his big chopper, wasn't he? In no way.
I love
no way
I
racist.
love the Muppets. They were fantastic.
Oh, they were brilliant.
But do you remember Spitting Image?
Oh, I
Spitting
do.
Image. And they did all the politicians.
Yes.
Do you remember John Major? He was always grey. He was
Grey.
always black and white.
And,
he was always grey.
And always eating peas.
Yeah.
Norma. There's another Norma.
No.
See, all links. It's like this is written. People are going to think we've written this.
I remember one when he was he was there, all grey, in a hard hat. Yeah. They were asking parliamentary questions at him, and he was just standing there. I don't know, mate.
You know that.
I don't know, mate. I don't know, mate.
Your guess as good as mine.
No, just all he ever said was, I don't know, mate. It was brilliant. Asking him all.
Oh my goodness.
That was fantastic. I love that show. They should bring it back.
Oh, it's genius.
They should bring it
some
back.
people bought the dummies, didn't they?
Did they?
Yeah, some of the people that bought their own dummies.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. But it was genius. Utter genius.
Do you know what, Sinead?
Yes.
It's that time again.
It is that time.
Are you going to flick that kettle on?
I think we should.
Get that kettle on, lad.
Back after.
This, inshallah.
Inshallah.
A million housewives every day pick up a tin and beans and say, beans, beans.
The two white Muslims.
A million housewives every day pick up a tin and beans and say, beans, beans.
Two white Muslims.
I'm going to really throw you now. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa rahmatullah.
We're barakatuh. Oh, we got it right. We never do it that way round. Why are we giggling?
I've no idea.
I know why.
I'm just staring into my donut.
Yeah, because you've got icing sugar all around.
Good job. Good job. This is radio. I've got
You've
jam
got
in my
icing
beard.
sugar all around your mouth. You've got a bit of jam in your beard. And you're only halfway through it.
Oh, it's so good.
And you're only halfway through
That was
your
just one
donuts.
bite.
I know. They are good, though. They are good. These are fresh as fresh can be. But you had a little look in your eye that went, I'm not stopping.
I'm not. I didn't want to press the button. You forced me to press the button. You were there. Giving me all daggers.
Oh, do you know? I don't need to go to the gym or do anything. I just need to laugh. I just need to spend time with you. Oh my goodness.
Oh, subhanallah.
So sorry, listeners. Sorry, I was laughing there. I was laughing there because Yusuf was literally there with half a donut and a look of hate.
How dare you press that button?
Because I was interrupting his donut time. Oh, dear.
I've got to eat this while my tea's warm.
I know.
Don't work with cold tea. You know that.
I know.
Ridiculous. Subhanallah.
Oh, dear. So, yes.
So you started this.
I did.
You carry on.
I'll carry on. Do you know, I want to go to next on my list. I want to go to next on my list because
Is it fridge magnets?
It's not. It's not. No.
Are we going to come to that?
We will come back to fridge magnets.
Inshallah.
But this, I see your fridge magnets and I raise you a postcard.
A postcard? It's
Right.
about postcards.
It's
is
about
it?
postcards.
Okay.
If I said to you, classic example, first class mail.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm not just talking about you.
I am a first class mail. Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, you're talking about post.
Post.
Right, okay.
If you put a letter in the post today, first class,
Yep.
when would you expect it to be delivered?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Fantastic. And we used to have a second class. It's not so prevalent anymore. But if you had second class...
It is when you're me. I can't afford first class stamps.
No. Do people still use second class?
Nothing I ever say is that important.
Well, no. So if you're doing second class, when would you expect that one to be delivered?
Oh, the day after.
The day after.
Yeah.
And back in the day, you used to have 2 deliveries. Do you remember?
I do remember that.
And you'd have one in the morning, one about 11
lunchtime,
lunchtime, half 11.
Yep.
Not anymore. So first class, you'd expect to land
the following morning.
day. Second class,
The day after.
the day after. Except when you went on holiday. Yes, because when you went on holiday, how often did you get back before the postcard arrived?
Every time.
Every time. It was just a completely accepted rule of thumb.
Yeah.
If you're going on holiday, when do you write your postcards?
Day one.
Day one. Why?
Because you want the postcard to get back before you do.
Before you do.
Yes.
So it's just accepted that they obviously prioritise mail in
Yes.
the sorting offices.
Yes.
First class. First class, gone, done,
Yeah.
sorted. That's got to be there tomorrow.
That's right.
Come on, Pat. Come on. Got to be there tomorrow. Second class. No, okay, we've got an extra day.
What will they call Postman Pat when he retires?
I don't know. What would they call Postman Pat when he retires?
Pat.
How will his theme song go?
It'll go, Pat, 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 with his dead cat.
I'm banging my head.
That-
I'm banging my head. If you heard that was me banging my head into the microphone. Oh dear. So you do your postcards on day one because you wanted your postcards to get back before you, if at all possible.
Yes.
Yes. So we anticipate a slight delay when it comes to postcards.
Yeah.
It's just how it is.
Yeah.
It's one of them things.
They prioritise other stuff.
Prioritise other stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
let's face it, they've got a lot of stuff.
They have got a lot of stuff. And
a lot of stuff.
And I completely get it.
And a lot of it's really important
Yes,
stuff.
absolutely.
And maybe they just naturally migrate towards, postcards are not
Yes.
that important.
Yes.
Yeah. So if somebody's got an electricity bill outstanding
Yep.
and they have to pay it tomorrow,
Absolutely.
they need the letter tomorrow.
I want that letter delivering tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So
if
I
somebody's
don't
got
mind
a
them
postcard
prioritising.
from Aunt Alice who's just had a weekend in
Yes.
Skeggy,
Yes.
they don't necessarily need
That
that.
basically just says "wish you were here"
No,
and doesn't mean it.
And I look at that and say I'm glad I wasn't.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
So yeah, they prioritise these things. So yeah, I get that. I understand. But is there an issue with a postcard then?
There is a little bit of an issue. So if I was to say to you, if you, I don't know, say went to Somerset,
Yeah,
beautiful place,
I understand. So I've never
lovely
actually
part of the
been.
world. I've driven through it.
Yeah.
Lovely. I didn't mean that as in a negative. I've driven through it. No, I have. We've been and driven through it. Beautiful part of the world. Always reminds me of Five Go Mad in Dorset.
Yeah.
It has that look about it.
Yeah.
It has that, with lashings of ginger beer.
Oh,
It just
yes.
has that look about it. So
Yeah.
let's say you were on holiday.
Quintessentially English.
Quintessentially British, isn't it?
Yes.
So if you found yourself in holiday, let's say in Somerset,
Yeah.
and you posted a card on a Monday,
Yeah.
a postcard on a Monday,
Yeah.
when would you expect that card to land?
Well, okay, we've said next day for first class.
Yep.
The day after for second class.
Yes.
So I'd say Wednesday.
Wednesday, maybe Thursday.
At a push, Thursday, yeah.
It was delayed a little bit longer than that.
Okay. How much longer?
Well, you tell me.
Friday?
Nope.
Saturday?
No.
The following week?
Nope.
The following month?
No.
Year?
No.
They lost my postcard.
We didn't even 21 years.
No.
Yes, I love stuff like this.
Oh, that's just
I
brilliant.
love stuff like this.
Now,
This is like
somebody...
in the movies when, somebody posted a letter in, 1847 and then they arranged for delivery in, 1980, whatever it was.
Yeah.
A family has received a postcard sent from about 100 miles away 21 years after it was written.
Amazing.
Brilliant. Tracy
Amazing.
Elliott said her father John, who lives in Bugle, Cornwall, had only recently received the card, which said it was written in Taunton, Somerset. So somebody wrote it in Taunton, Somerset, sent it to somebody in Cornwall.
Yep.
She said a bit of detective work had led her to believe that it had been written in May 1997.
Wow.
Yes. Royal Mail said it believed it was likely the card had only recently gone into the postal system. So there was a lot of prioritising above this one. Ms. Elliott from Bugle said the family thought the card was sent by a friend of her father, Alison, who he knew from walks with the Ramblers Association.
Yep.
I thought it was just a normal postcard until I started reading it and suddenly realised what it was, she added. Now, I was reading this. I thought it was going to say something like, could it be from her? She's no longer with us. Type thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
The postcard
it came
features
from
a
the
picture
other
of
side.
2 horses on Porlock Hill with the sea in the background. Ms. Elliott said she had managed to guess it was from 1997 because of the green 20p stamp on it.
Wow. Whoa.
Because I was thinking, oh, well, obviously somebody's written on a very old postcard and said, no,
Nope.
it has a green. Do you ever remember the stamps being green?
Nope.
No, me neither.
They've been red and orange.
Red and orange and blue.
I remember blue
I
stuff.
don't remember
green.
No. That's because it was 21 years ago, it would appear.
Wow.
Which were issued at that time. And the card's sender referring to her sister being pregnant.
Oh.
She added that she had showed the card to her parents who were all excited about it. I would be. I love stuff like this. And they were hoping to trace its sender. Miss Elliott said she thought delivery might have been delayed because of the card might have been down the back of a filing cabinet in a Royal Mail building. And you know that is exactly what has happened. It's got dropped down the back of a filing cabinet. Somebody's found it and just stuck it in. Ah, brilliant. Brilliant.
I wonder if they had to have a meeting about it first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just stick it in.
Shall we actually honour this? Well, we have to.
Yes.
Why do we have to? Because it's
got
Royal Mail.
It's got a stamp
on it.
Yeah, 21
Of
year old
course we have to.
It's a stamp.
It's a stamp all the
nonetheless.
same.
Royal Mail said it was difficult to speculate
Yeah.
on what had happened. I bet it was. But added that believed it was more likely that the card had only recently been put into the postal system because it was regularly checked its buildings and machinery. They obviously found it, put it in.
Yep.
I think they should be using this as an advert.
I think they should too.
They're looking at this as a bad thing. I'm going, no.
No. Brilliant.
You send something with Royal Mail, by hook or by crook, it'll
It's
get there.
going to get there.
Albeit 21 years later, but it's going to get there.
Yeah. So, Mr. N Power, if you want your bill paid,
Yes. Oh, bless.
other power providers are available, I'm sure.
Can you imagine the arguments at Christmas? Why didn't you send me a Christmas card? Well, you didn't send me a postcard. I did.
I did.
No, you
I
didn't.
did.
You didn't?
No, you didn't.
I did.
I didn't get it.
I specifically remember.
Look, nothing ever gets lost in the post.
Nothing ever gets lost
excuse,
in the post.
That
Okay,
excuse is gone.
It might be a couple of days late, but you didn't send it. I did. I distinctly remembering mentioning that Marjorie was pregnant. I distinctly... And then 21 years later...
21 years later.
It lands.
Wow.
It lands.
So that fallout that they had 21 years earlier...
Yep.
She was right.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you know?
All
bless
those
her.
arguments.
All that. Well, it actually caused a war. Can you imagine?
Oh my goodness.
A family feud that
Yes.
lasted generations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, but somebody
21
somewhere's
years
going to make
later.
a movie based on this kind of occurrence.
I'm
aren't they?
sure they will.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, it's finally received.
Yeah.
Confirmation that.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. 21 years.
Wow.
Love it.
Incredible.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Shall we do some of this?
I think we need to do a little bit of this.
Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa rahmatullahi
Wa barakatuh.
like a streak of lightning flashing across the sky, like a twisted arrow whizzing from a bow, like a mighty cannonball he seems to fly. You'll hear about him everywhere you go. The time will come when everyone will know the name of
The Two White Muslims.
Are you sure?
I'm absolutely positive.
Really?
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
No! Assalamu alaikum. You see, when we do it this way round, you get it wrong.
I do.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Go on, you start.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa rahmatullahi.
Wa barakatuh. No, you start again.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Proof it only works one way. There we go. Oh,
Dear me.
I don't know. I do not know.
This list, I'm loving this list.
Oh, I'm telling you.
is just
I'm
so
telling
much
you.
fun.
Oh, my goodness. And this one is a corker.
Is this fridge magnet?
It's not fridge magnet.
Oh, are we
We're
going to
gonna
come
talk
back?
about fridge
Are we going to come back to that?
We'll come back to fridge magnet.
Inshallah.
We will. They're hanging on.
Oh.
No, this one is it's further confirmation, if you needed it, that the two white Muslims are right.
Oh, come on. That goes without saying.
And the two white Muslims are right because they're quoting the Quran and Hadith.
Alhamdulillah.
Because basically Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is right.
Yep.
Not complicated.
Not complicated.
So you
at
guessed
all.
it, listeners. It's another one about alcohol.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Now the article is headed, "What's wrong with young people today?
Yep.
They don't even get drunk anymore."
Well, that's what's right with young people now.
Exactly.
Surely that's what that article
Exactly.
should say.
I'm hoping this was written very much with tongue in cheek.
I'm hoping so too.
It's hard to tell,
Okay.
but what it is saying is that the millennials, the younger generation, are not drinking as much as people did in the past.
Brilliant.
If we look at our generation and generations before.
So we're likely to have healthier people
Yes.
going forward.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Is that good or
because
bad?
although we've said this before, it's worth repeating
Yes.
that in a recent scientific study,
Yes.
it has now been determined
That-
and universally agreed by all scientists all over the world
Yep.
that
Alcohol
not
is-
one drop
Yes.
is good for you. Not
Absolutely.
a drop.
Oh, but I remember there being a study that said a couple of glasses of red wine a day was good for your heart.
That's now nonsense.
Nope.
Not a drop.
Absolutely.
Absolutely none is better for you.
Yes.
And Allah told us that.
Many years ago. How many years ago?
Our 1430
1400? Well, it's been
years.
saying it for a while.
I
It
know.
was even saying it before that,
It was-
let's be honest.
to be fair.
But it was absolutely
Yep.
reinforced, and the prohibition was created, 1400 and some years ago.
Yeah. And it didn't happen all at once.
Absolutely.
Because people used to, in the time of our dearly beloved Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam,
Mm-hmm.
may the peace, blessings, and mercy of Allah would be with him. In his day, people used to drink.
Yes.
Massive amounts.
Yep.
They used to just drink all the time.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden it became, well, we don't like this.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't really want this to happen, and it would be better if you didn't.
Yes.
Yeah, and then over time to absolute prohibition.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's now prohibited. It is now haram.
Yes.
To
Haram.
do this.
Do
So and that
not
happened.
do
That
it.
happened over a long period to get people, to get society used to abstinence and,
Yes.
gradually curtailing it and stopping it altogether.
Because, and I hate saying it like this, we're not to be trusted. There are
No.
certain things where we're simply not to be trusted. And when one of them is mind-altering, inhibition-reducing concoctions,
Yes.
it kind of, we just go a little bit too far, and it does all of those things. It reduces inhibitions, changes your mind, and makes you do silly things.
Yes.
Things that invariably you regret and
Yes.
cause harm, whether
Yes.
physical, emotional, or psychological.
Or Facebook.
Or Facebook. Yeah, to other people.
Nowadays. Yes.
To other people. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. To other people. And yourself.
Yeah.
The number of accidents that happen as a result. The number of illnesses that happen as a result. The number of
Yep.
divorces and fallings out that
Yep.
happen as a result.
Yep.
You know, the number of people coming together for
I wish
temporary
I hadn't said
minutes.
that.
I wish I hadn't said that. I wish I hadn't done
Oh,
that.
I wish I hadn't done.
I said
Oh,
what?
I wish. Oh, I didn't.
You mean you
did
can't
I?
even remember saying it?
No.
Do you remember last night?
Oh no, actually no, I don't.
No, I don't.
It's
You're
all.
honest.
It's all a bit of a blur.
It's a bit of a blur. Oh,
It's
should
a
we
bit
do
of
it
a
again?
fuss.
Yeah.
Oh, go on
You know what I mean?
then.
Oh, it's
when,
ridiculous.
when shall we do it? Tonight.
Tonight. People wake up going, I'll never drink again by 6 o'clock. Come on!
Come on, let's
Oh,
go.
my goodness. Except the
Subhanallah.
younger generation are getting wise to this.
Alhamdulillah.
And they're saying, do you know what?
Alhamdulillah.
I
Rabbil
recognise that
Alameen.
it kills ambition.
Yeah, it
I
does.
recognise that it kills brain cells.
It
I reckon
absolutely
that it
does.
ruins relationships.
Yes, it does.
I recognise that it kills time.
Yes.
And that it just makes me waste time and money.
Yes.
I was out yesterday and just driving around. We went shopping, and it was a little bit later on. And we're driving back, and I saw two young ladies in a taxi. Well, I saw the taxi driver first because he was a friend. Gave him a little wave, and then saw two young ladies in the back, and they were evidently going out on a night out.
Yep.
And it suddenly occurred to me they are probably going to spend together more than that chap will earn
Yes.
in the entire shift.
Yes.
And you kind of think, I don't know.
That's not right,
it's
is
not
that?
really good,
Because
that, is
he's
it?
going to feed his family on that.
Not
Yeah.
really good, that.
It's not. No, it's not.
What a waste. And all you're doing is feeding the barons who own
And do you go?
the alcohol industry.
I have to go through town from time to time
Oh.
on a Friday, sometimes Saturday night, because we have a takeaway that
Yeah,
we like.
we have takeaway night.
We have a
Friday.
takeaway,
Yeah.
and one of the takeaways is down at the bottom of Westgate.
Oh, so it's High Street. In effect, it's
so
kind of like
you
the High Street. type
go
of-
down
yeah.
Westgate
Yes.
to get to it.
Yep.
And going down Westgate on a Friday night, the sights that you see,
Yeah.
subhanallah.
And do you feel completely comfortable?
No, not in the slightest. No.
No.
And I actually I feel sorry for them, these people.
Yes.
That's what they consider to be entertainment.
Yes.
And I know my kind of entertainment. My kind of entertainment is dinner parties.
Yeah.
I love dinner parties.
Yep.
Love them because you get dinner.
Yeah.
And you get
And a
you
bit of
get
a party.
great company. You get-
Yeah.
dinner in a party.
Yes.
And you get great company.
Yep.
And invariably the topic of conversation comes round to Islam.
Yep.
And the various facets of,
Yep.
and it's interesting stuff. It's engaging stuff. You're round with knowledgeable people, and you learn,
Yes.
and it's great.
And how often does a fight break out? Oh no! To be fair,
Well,
to be fair,
actually, do you remember that Eid?
I do. Let me rephrase that. When people are sat and talking about Islam
No.
and communicating over food with the absence of alcohol, very few occasions does it come to blows. Let me put it that way.
I can
then let
only
me turn it
remember
around
one
once
in the last how many years?
20 years, 27 years.
20, yeah.
Turn that around when alcohol is involved at such parties. How often did fights break
I can
out?
only remember one where it
Well,
didn't.
it didn't. Exactly.
Is what people would say.
Yes.
Yes.
Husbands and wives don't speak to each other. Friends fall out. Oh, but we laughed about it the next day. Why? Oh, my goodness. And you talk about going round the city centre, town centres
Yep.
of a Saturday night, Friday night, and how kind of scary that can be.
Yeah.
It's
It's actually intimidating.
very intimidating.
You see these groups, packs of people, these
Yep.
groups of people, and you
Yes.
think, oh, actually, I wouldn't want to be facing
Yes,
them.
absolutely.
I
Because-
certainly wouldn't want to be. Are you staring at me?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. You call my pint a puff.
Oh,
hang on.
steady,
Extraordinary.
steady.
And I come back to quote one of our beloved prophets: "Forgive them, Father; they know not what they do."
Yeah.
Well, when they're drunk, they don't.
No, they don't.
They don't. And what might be otherwise nice, normal people turn into horrendous people.
Yep.
But I was thinking about we went and did a talk in a mosque on Friday,
We did.
and we did it in my hometown of Sheffield.
Yep.
We then went to an area of Sheffield I'm not going to mention.
Mm-hmm.
We went to an area of Sheffield for a meal.
Yep.
And as we were driving in, my heart began to pound a little bit.
Yep.
Because when I was young,
You weren't allowed there, were you?
I wasn't allowed there.
No.
I was not allowed in that area.
It was too dangerous.
It was an incredibly rough area and quite a frightening area.
Yeah.
I mean, to the point where, like I say, I wasn't, when I was really young, wasn't allowed to go there.
Yeah.
And when I was old enough to kind of think for myself, wouldn't to
dream
go there,
of.
just wouldn't go.
No.
Would not go. And when I was working for TSB, I remember having to go on relief to the TSB branch there one Friday, and on Friday it opened late. It opened till 6 o'clock.
Right.
So we didn't come out till about 6:30, 7. That's what happened every single Friday. And one of the young ladies on the counter had told a chap that he couldn't have any money because he didn't have any money. You know, you've exceeded your overdraft facility. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, but I can't give you any cash. You don't have any, you know. And he got really mad with her, hung around, and then when she came out and was stood at the bus stop at 6:45 in the evening, went up and smacked her in the face. Went up and pushed her in the face. It is a really, really rough area. We went into it
on Friday night.
On Friday night.
What a great place.
It's amazing.
Beautiful.
It was amazing.
I felt absolutely at home.
Same here. And completely at ease.
Completely at home and at ease, yeah.
Yep.
Because it was Muslim.
It was Muslim area.
Yeah. And
now
all
a
the restaurants,
Muslim
all
area.
the people,
Yep.
you know, you could see that people were just out to enjoy a nice meal.
Nice meal.
Yeah, good food,
company.
good company, etc.
And as you walk along the street, what were you saying to people?
Assalamu alaikum wa
And they'd say,
rahmatullahi wa
they look at you a bit shocked and go,
Yeah, they looked us up and down a couple of times, didn't they?
Absolutely. And then, you know, we had a choice of halal restaurants. We went into a brilliant halal restaurant, had a lovely meal.
Went upstairs, sat on the floor.
Came out at 11:15, 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Late on.
Yeah.
Came out at a time when we should be thinking, and it was like being on holiday.
Just lovely.
It was brilliant. People
Lovely
were
atmosphere.
smiling. People
Lovely
were getting in
atmosphere.
cars and driving.
Yep.
Because what had they not been doing?
Drinking.
It
Alhamdulillah.
was brilliant.
Yeah, and that's
When will
how
people realise?
you have a better time.
Yes.
Yeah, you have a much more healthy
Yes.
lifestyle when you
Yep.
stick to that.
Yes.
You eat well.
Yep.
You can tell your stories the following day with
Yep.
no embarrassment.
Absolutely. Well, you can remember them.
Yeah, you can.
You don't have to look
you
at the
can.
pictures on your phone to know if you had a good night or not.
No, that's right. You don't have to be worried whilst reading Facebook
Yep,
the following
absolutely,
day as to what
absolutely.
people have commented on. Yeah, but you know, driving through town centre in our hometown at that time of night on a
Yep.
Friday
Yep.
is actually just kind of a bit
Yeah.
intimidating.
You wonder what's going to
Yeah,
happen to your car.
and-
You wonder what's going to happen.
Then you think about the emergency services,
Yeah,
what
oh
what
my
they have to
goodness.
tackle, what they have to
Oh,
face, what they have to
And how much
deal
harder
with,
their job is as a
and the
result.
abuse that they suffer as
Oh
a result
my
of trying
goodness.
to just help people.
Yes.
Yeah, I've often said we could save ourselves a fortune in this country.
Yeah.
Okay, by saying for all those who go and get themselves drunk
Yep.
on a Friday and fall over.
Yep.
Yeah, don't treat them.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're not allowed to do that.
Stick them in a room until they sober up.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, because the abuse that they hurl at staff in hospitals
Awful.
is absolutely atrocious.
Yeah.
And I've
ev-
seen that firsthand. It
Yes.
is atrocious.
Well, the vast majority of people who are listening to this now will have seen it because at some point we have fallen over not through alcohol,
Yeah.
or we found our children ill not
Yeah.
through alcohol, or for whatever reason we found ourselves in A&E basically on a Friday or Saturday
Yeah.
night, and it's terrifying.
It's awful.
It is
it's
a
intimidating.
horrible place to be. Yeah.
Intimidating.
People
It
shouting
really is.
and screaming and
Oh,
bouncing.
awful.
So do you want the good news? Do
So
you want the
hang on
good news?
a minute. So what is wrong with young people?
Well, exactly. Do you want the good news then?
Go on.
And it's put in here as bad news. I'm hoping it's tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
But it says, get this, young people don't even drink anymore. The figures just released by the Health Survey for England lend weight to what is becoming a familiar trope. In 2015, 1 in 3 16 to 24-year-olds were completely teetotal.
Oh, brilliant.
Completely teetotal.
Brilliant.
A third of all 16 to 24-year-olds. Do you think at 25 they're going to change?
No.
No. So therefore, pretty much for life. Compared with 1 in 5 10 years before.
Yep.
So from 20% to a third.
To a third. To
A
33%.
third.
That's brilliant.
That's fantastic.
It's a huge increase.
Lifetime abstainers rose from 9% to 17%.
Brilliant.
Almost 1 in 5 people will simply never drink in their life.
Brilliant.
Meanwhile, rates of harmful drinking have declined. In 2015, 28% admitted to drinking above the recommended limits. 10 years previously, it was almost half.
Wow.
Whoa. The 10,000 participants reported that complete abstention was becoming mainstream.
This is great.
mainstream.
This is great. You know,
It's
finally.
Brilliant. And then the chap who's written this article, and it was a guy, turns it around and says, oh, well, so all that happens is, what do people say? Well, let's start challenging the thought processes of young people then. If they're not drinking, they must be doing something else bad instead. I bet they're smoking more of that weed. Guess what?
They're not.
They're not.
No, they're not.
They're not. Perhaps also agree. Only recreational drug use is also on the downward slope.
Alhamdulillah.
Well,
so it seems then that some, or a third of our younger people have seen sense.
yes.
Or maybe they've had sense drilled into them
Well,
from above. I hope so.
Do you know what the overarching common contributor to this wonderful decline in alcohol and weed use is put down to?
Go on.
Multiculturalism.
Alhamdulillah.
So it's not been drilled into them, it's been brought into them by people coming
By
to this
example, Alhamdulillah.
country. Guess which people?
Muzzies.
Muslims. People who don't, historically, drink.
Love them.
Long English traditions of being incredibly sick on village greens has been supplanted by the cultural practices that don't revolve around booze.
Yep.
How cool is that?
Fantastic. I went for a night out last night.
Now, oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
With a bunch of lads.
Yep.
Went out for a night out.
Brilliant.
Do you know what? Had a great time.
Go on.
Fantastic.
Go on. Was it in a pub?
No.
Did you drink alcohol?
No.
Did you get absolutely hammered and beat people up?
No.
Did you shout abuse at people?
No.
That doesn't sound like a good night to me.
was
Many
brilliant.
people would say.
It was brilliant.
Go on, what did you do?
We did a Sirah.
Oh,
We
brilliant.
did Sirah of Surah Al-Baqarah,
Right.
the first 16 ayat.
For
of
people that
Surah
don't know what that
Al-Baqarah.
means.
What that means is that we took the first 16 verses
Yes.
of the chapter 2 in the Quran,
Yep.
Surah Al-Baqarah,
Yep.
and we examined exactly what those passages mean.
Brilliant.
Put them into context.
Yes.
Learned about how and when and where they were revealed, and at what stage in our beloved Prophet's life.
Yeah,
sallallahu
place them in
alaihi
context.
wasallam. Contextualise them within his history and Islamic history, and really just discuss them to bits.
Yeah.
And then we did a bit on some hadith.
Yep.
Regarding the things that had come out of the
Yes.
first 16.
Yep.
16 verses of chapter 2 in the Quran.
Yes.
It was fascinating.
Brilliant.
And we had a bunch of three doctors.
Yep.
Three doctors. One very, very large store manager.
Yep. Do you mean as in he's big or he manages a large store?
He manages a large store with lots and lots of staff.
Yes. Yes.
He's a brilliant guy.
Yeah,
Brilliant
yeah.
guy. And then little old me.
And then little old you.
Little old me just being who I am.
Making up the numbers.
But do you know, we
No,
had
I'm
to,
joking, I'm joking.
we each took it in turns to read some of the ayat
Yes.
from the Quran.
Yes.
So we got the added benefit of having our pronunciation checked
Yes,
by
yeah.
Arab speaker.
Yep.
And corrected when
Yep.
it needs to be.
Yes.
And then the learning that took place last night, and that's what I consider a great night out
Yes,
with the
and
lads.
It's enjoyable.
Night out with the lads.
Enjoyable.
It was brilliant.
Phenomenal.
And I look forward to next Sunday because
Yes.
it's going to happen again next Sunday.
Ah, brilliant.
We're swapping houses
Yep.
each time.
Yep.
So next Sunday it's at one of the doctor's houses.
Yep.
The Sunday after that it'll be mine.
Yay!
Yeah, my
Brilliant.
Inshallah. So
Inshallah.
I look forward to Sunday evening.
Yes.
Now. So
Yep.
night out with the lads.
Yep.
Having great conversation about great subject.
Yes.
And the subject matter is so in depth.
Yeah.
It's just mind blowing.
Yeah.
And it just makes you realise that for some people who read the Quran,
Yep.
they do so because they have learnt to read Arabic
Yes.
and pronounce things
Yep.
correctly,
Yep.
but they haven't got a clue what it means.
Yeah.
They just read it.
They're just reading.
That's
Which is it's a good start.
brilliant.
Brilliant start. Which I
What,
could do it.
what a talent.
Yeah.
Brilliant to be able to do that.
Absolutely.
But
But you can magnify that by doing what?
understand
Understand
it.
it.
Read it in your own language.
Reading your own language. You can do it at the
Understand
same time.
But even reading it in your own language Again, Arabic is such a
People
beautifully
do say you need
complex
to learn
language.
Arabic. But if you don't know Arabic yet, at least understand what you are reading in Arabic by considering the translation in your own language.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Now,
So I'm gonna rephrase that. Instead
on.
of saying what's wrong with our young people, I'm going to say what's wrong with some of our young people. They still drink.
yeah, or what's right with
What's
these
right with an
young
awful lot
people?
is they don't.
They don't.
How
Alhamdulillah.
cool is that?
That's brilliant. And do you know what? As we're just about to finish this section,
Go on.
somebody's just walked in the room. Yeah, somebody's just walked into reception.
Right.
And I need to go and give him a massive hug.
Ah, brilliant.
Right now.
Brilliant.
So, guys, back after this.